Okay. With that, I will call the meeting of Tuesday, September the 18th to order. And looking to the agenda, are there changes? In which case, I'll move the agenda be approved as presented. Those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. First up is the delegation, the Olympic Bid Corporation, which apparently is of interest to the community because usually we have one or two people in the room. Certainly of interest to council. So who's presenting? Ms. Moran?
Thank you so much, Mayor Borman, and thank you, councillors, for inviting us here today. I often like to say, even a bad day in the mountains is better than a good day in the city, so we're happy to be here. And having spent some time in Whistler in my career, I always take the opportunity to enjoy the mountains, so I'm really happy to be here. I have some of my colleagues here. Vanessa, who works on special projects. We have Jolanne, who's responsible for the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, and the Canadian Olympic Committee relationship. And we also have Fergal, who is very involved in the planning, and they, combined with me, will answer any questions that you have for us today.
Super. Just before you start,
sure,
I'm sorry,
sure.
Would you, I think it'll go more easily if we allow you to give your presentation and then ask questions afterwards.
Perfect, that would be great. I'll try to get through it as swiftly as possible, but provide you with enough information that you are well informed. Before I start, though, I'd also just like to thank the Town Council and administration for lending us Lisa DeSoto, who sits on our board and is invaluable to us and providing great input and certainly representing the community extremely well. I'm going to start with, hopefully I can run this. Okay, there we go.
I think everybody on this side of the table knows who you are, but
oh yeah, sure, I should introduce myself. That's a great, sorry about that. My name is Mary Moran, and I'm the CEO for Calgary 2026. I came into the position about 5 weeks ago, and just delighted to be able to assist in this program and this opportunity. My background is I'm the former CEO and president of Calgary Economic Development, and have been in economic development for almost a decade, and in the role of CEO for about 3.5 years. And I'm on a leave right now to hopefully get this through to the plebiscite, and then at that point I'll be stepping down from my job. If we're successful in Calgary with the plebiscite, I'll be stepping down from my job and stepping into this role full-time to see it right through to completion, which will be into the fall of 2019. Sorry, and somebody was going to show me how to use this. Okay, great. Thank you very much. We have a couple of things to cover today. The first is going to be the approach of the games, and this is quite important because it's a fundamental change compared to previous games. We're going to talk about the games concept and get into the details about where, when, and how the games will operate. Then we're going to get into the fun things, which is the games budget, and a fair amount of detail about that, and what we're asking the public investment to be, as well as what the game operations will be. And then we're going to talk about the socioeconomic impact, as well as the preliminary ROI. A couple of things that we want to answer for the group today is what funding is needed to operate the games, and who will pay for it. The second question is what investment are we asking the communities or the governments to invest in the games in order for us to host the games. The third question is what legacy will we leave behind in our communities for years to come? And of course then, obviously, what is the return on investment? Before I get into it too much further, it's always great to set a level playing field and ensure that everybody is working towards the same dates. Of course, we're here today and delighted to be here with Town Council. The International Olympic Committee on October 8th and 9th will be making a decision in Buenos Aires of what cities will go forward with their candidature. So we hope and we remain optimistic that Calgary and Canmore will be selected. Of course, November 6th, I don't need to tell this crowd, but of course Town Council will be making a decision. And then, of course, in Calgary, we're holding a plebiscite, and the City Council will soon decide after that if we're proceeding. to submit a bid. And if we are successful, then we will be submitting a bid on the 11th of January, 2019. And of course, the final decision of what city is selected will happen on September the 11th of 2019. So we have a lot of work to do. But I really want to emphasize the approach that we're taking. And it is important to acknowledge the fact that the IOC has undergone a wholesale change in the way that they approach the games. They really want to fit into the cities, the towns, the regions, and the country's long-term objectives in addressing their social issues, their environmental issues, as well as their urban development goals. In fact, Calgary and Canmore 2026 will be the first games that goes through the full process of Agenda 2020, which is focused on sustainability and leaving community legacy from the start to finish of their submission and the deployment of the games. So in the building of the bids, we're very conscious of using existing venues, ensuring that we minimize the amount of investment required, maximize the utilization, and maximize the legacy that we leave in the community. And I think that this is Canmore's, Calgary's, and Alberta's, and even Canada's way. We can develop the most responsible bid, and we can set our communities up to deliver the most responsible games. And it's, you know, when we look at it, we want to ensure that there's good economics, but we also want to be able to showcase our responsibility to the environment that is very well demonstrated, particularly in our mountain communities. But we also want to prove that we will not leave anybody behind and that we will honor the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the calls to action within there. And if we do this with that lens, I know that we can probably deliver the best games ever, but in the meantime, we can also spark our volunteer and community spirit in both of our communities. This initiative will also give the governments, the federal, the provincial, the town of Canmore, the city of Calgary, something to rally around. It will give them something to focus on, to deliver to our communities, and support long-term economic growth. Both the BidCo, Calgary 2026 BidCo, and right through to the HostCo, we have established some core values. And these core values are very meaningful to us as an organization as we develop our bid package, as well as we develop the planning for the HostCo. And we've done this in conjunction with many stakeholders, including the key stakeholders from Canmore. And the 5 are being better together, being well, respecting our land, dreaming big, and staying true. And when we talk about be better together, this is how we work with our partners, including our civic partners or our government partners. It's also ensuring that we're considering how seniors, newcomers, peoples with disabilities, or low-income families can participate. And as I said before, our Indigenous peoples are very important. We also view them as equal partners in delivering these games and want to ensure that they have a very prevalent and dominant position in the games delivery. Being well is about achieving our balance of physical, mental, cultural, and spiritual wellness. And maybe we want to set a goal for ourselves to be the healthiest province in the country and or the healthiest country in the world. Respecting our land is leveraging and showcasing our respect for the environment, which is so well practiced here in the mountain communities, and setting goals for ourselves for LEED buildings, as well as things such as zero waste goals for the games operation. Dreaming big is really about 2 things. It's about showing the world who we really are, showcasing our communities and the innovative, creative, and entrepreneurial and environmentally responsible talent that we have in our communities. But it's also about building a legacy. What do we want the world to say about Calgary and Canmore in 40 years to come? And how can we leave this as a better place for our children and our children's children? Staying true is very much about the transparency of the BidCo, the transparency of the HostCo, and also ensuring that we deliver the safest games, that we encourage safe sport. At a time, certainly when our country seems to be divisive on a number of issues, and our neighbor to the south is focused on a protectionism agenda, this is an opportunity for Canmore and Calgary and Canada to rise above this and show the world that global relations are very important. And although the games are designed for us to compete in sport. We can do it with respect, responsibility, and warmth. These values of ours very much aligned with the town of Canmore's priorities in their 4-year strategic plan, including the pillars that address livability, community, wildlife coexistence, environmental sustainability, strong economy, financial stewardship, and community engagement. Now, to get into the detail about where, why, what, and how much the games will cost, I want to start off by just talking about the games. I often say